Are we live? I think we are live. We are. Just gonna set up my YouTube now. No, not that. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't play the song on it. I totally thought it played the song on it. Oh, my bad. I thought if I loaded up the page, it would automatically show it. But that's okay. We have Spotify for this. So let's go over to here. Yeah, let's do it. And that's nice and loud in the headphones. We'll turn that down a little bit to there, just for the intro. And we are now ready to go, I think. We'll put that big, actually. Sup, shooters! My name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome. That's actually through the speakers, isn't it? That's through the speakers. Sup, shooters! My name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Livestreams, the $6 live streams where for just $6 you can get yourself a song reviewed, whether it's through YouTube or via Spotify or whichever you want. And if we switch over to here, we currently have the song recording. This is my song Glow. It's very loud here, probably for you too. It is off of the album titled I Am Done Volume 1, which has 12 tracks on it. And at some point I'll get around to promoting that and showing the rest of them. But for in the meantime, if you're wanting to listen to more of my music, you can go to here. But more importantly, if we switch off and we go to the fishes. What's up? How's it going? Hopefully you guys are having a good 2025 so far. It is. That was the cup on the microphone, by the way, or the bottle on the microphone. It is the 16th of the January 2025. Hopefully you all are well and taking care of yourselves. I suppose we should probably have a look into music news. I am keeping an eye on Ko-fi stuff, so Ko-fi is open at the moment. I can literally see on the page here it's open, so if you do want to put through a request for a track, you can do so, but if not, that's totally fine. Here we are looking through our music news. Music news. Let's go to Billboard for music news. So, here we are. Beyonce, Doja Cat, Metallica, and more musicians who have donated to LA wildlife relief efforts. So a lot of the news at the moment is it is related. It is related to the wildfires. We have Dave Grohl help serve meals to LA wildfire victims. Lisa Marie Presley's relationship with Michael Jackson was genuine. So that's cool. Orville Peck will replace Adam Lambert as MC in Broadway's Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club. Eagles donate $2.5 million. Paris Hilton's non-profit raises $800K for LA wildlife relief efforts. Dallas Green teases new Me, You and Me music with Pink. John Bon Jovi to trace band's history in new anthology, Bon Jovi Forever. Tommy Lee criticizes artists plugging albums and tours during LA fires. And then finally, Hayley Williams' grandfather to release debut album 50 years after it was first recorded. The Rolling Stone is Leighton Meester is up. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Heartstrings album returns to iTunes charts after LA fire home loss. Released in 2014, but it has received a recent surge in attention through the revival phenomenon that began with Heidi Montag, who also lost her house in devastating wildfires. A$AP Rocky is apparently due to go into prison. Pearl Jam, Casey Musgraves, Lil Wayne with the route set for New Orleans Jazz Fest. Eagles donate $2.5 million. And finally, Country Scars and the Village People. The Village People line up to play Trump inauguration events. The Village People. TikTok is about to be banned, so Bob Dylan joined the app to see what the fuss is all about. That's kind of cool, but I can't watch it because it's gate kept by pay gated. Recording Academy announces Grammy Week changes. Amid LA fires, Leighton Meester's Heartstrings album returns to iTunes charts after LA fire home loss. A$AP Rocky, Gun Assault, more of that. And then finally Pearl Jam, Casey Musgraves, Lil Wayne with the Root set for New Orleans Jazz Fest. That's fine. And then finally we have Enemy first for music news. Whoopi Goldberg defends Carrie Underwood over Trump inauguration performance, but says she won't be watching. If I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right. Bob Dylan makes a TikTok account days before it could get banned in the US. Will this tell me more about it? It will. So we can finally actually learn about what Bob Dylan is doing on TikTok. So let's just have a read through this. Now, I'm going to level with you guys. I've been thinking it's probably smart for the live streams to end if there are no requests by the time I get through music news. Because if people are not wanting music reviews, that's fine. I shall go and do other things. Bob Dylan makes a TikTok account days before it could get banned in the US. A video posted to the platform shows a series of clips from various Dylan eras. Bob Dylan has made a TikTok account just days before it might be banned in the US. A video was posted under a verified account named Bob Dylan, featuring a series of clips from various Dylan era soundtrack to songs including Like a Rolling Stone, Knocking on Heaven's Door, and Hurricane. Crazy. And he's already got 50,000 likes. That's fantastic. It is truly an incredible social media app that is about to be displaced, from what I understand. This comes as TikTok has announced plans to cease operations in the US on January 19th. Unless the Supreme Court blocks or delays its ban, it might do, because I think Trump likes TikTok. As per a report from Associated Press, TikTok has confirmed that it intends to shut down its app in the United States on January 19th. This, however, would be a last resort if the Supreme Court decides to enforce laws that will force the Chinese-owned platform to sell to a third party and break ties with parent company ByteDance. ByteDance has said that it has no intention to sell the app. No, it wouldn't, and I'm sure that they probably do not want to switch things up at this point. They're highly successful, and the information trade that's going on is probably incredibly lucrative. Dylan's last-minute attempt to see what TikTok is about follows a pattern in his behavior. Last year, he started to use X more than he did before, posting birthday wishes and general messages on top of his usual announcements as Elon Musk was driving people from the platform. In other Bob Dylan-related news, Timothée Chalamet rode a Lime bike into a London premiere of the Dylan biopic A Complete Unknown. Okay. Well, Dylan praised Chalamet's performance in the film, describing him as a brilliant actor and saying that he is sure he's going to be completely believable as me, or a younger me, or some other me. Dylan also had some impact on the film's script, as revealed by producer Peter Jason. He met with director Tim Mangold multiple times. In a 4-star review of the film, Enemy said the most important and often trickiest job of any movie is getting the music right, and this nails that. If you're a Bob newbie, you'll leave the cinema ready to dive into his back catalogue. If you're already a fan, the next few weeks will be spent making playlists of a lesser-known B-sides or reading the lore around the scene you weren't familiar with. And that's why it was a good idea to make this film. A mad idea, but a good one. Awesome. I'm glad that he's having fun. I think that's the least that you can ask for in life. It's very important to have fun whilst you're doing things. I am live. I have been live for 8 minutes. Awesome. Good. Ringo Starr says he once left an Elton John gig with Sir Elton's mom because they didn't know any songs. Okay, great. Discogs to donate sales revenue to those hit by LA wildfires, while Fender commits $100,000 to replacing instruments. Yeah, but like $100,000 to replace instruments is like 20 Stratocasters. To be fair, it's more like 100. If they're like the cheaper ones, they're like $1,000 each. Unless, of course, they're going to deliberately find musicians who have nice ones, and then they're going to be like, well, it's a shame if you don't have your fucking Blackie Stratocaster worth $45,000. We're going to replace that, and they just replace 2 of them. Father John Misty announces I Love You, Honeybee, a 10th anniversary remastered vinyl. Central C announces last-minute London show at Coco. Drake sues for defamation over Kendrick Lamar song Not Like Us for false allegation of being criminal pedophile. Damn. Okay, so he's finally suing Kendrick Lamar about that. Drake is suing Universal Music Group for releasing Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us last year, where Drake and his peers are described as certified pedophiles who should be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. The lawsuit filed in a New York federal court today, January 15th, called the release and promotion of the track, where Lamar alleged Drake likes him young, an example of valuing corporate greed over the safety and well-being of his artists. It's a rap battle. It's battle music. Right? As The Guardian reports, the lawsuit alleges that UMG approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track that was intended to convey the specific, unmistakable, and false factual allegation. False factual. So it's not real. So it's a factual allegation that's false. That Drake is a criminal pedophile, and to suggest that the public should resort to vigilante justice in response. I don't know if that's the case. I don't remember anybody saying to fuck Drake up, but that's okay. I could be wrong. The suit also draws attention to the artwork for Not Like Us, which uses a picture of Drake's Toronto house with markers used to identify the homes of registered sex offenders. And then it mentions a shooting which occurred outside. But this is all Kendrick's opinion. I don't understand how it can be too dangerous if this is his opinion. But you'd also have to prove that it wasn't true. How do you prove a negative? Lawyer Michael J. Gottlieb is representing... Oh, Gottlieb, I remember him. I know who he is. Gottlieb has previously represented the owner of Washington, D.C. pizzeria targeted by Pizzagate conspiracy theorists in 2016 and election workers falsely accused by Rudy Giuliani of aiding a fictional plot during the 2020 U.S. presidential election to sway the vote towards Joe Biden. Universal has yet to respond to the allegations, according to the BBC. Earlier today, Drake dropped a legal case which accuses labels of inflating the numbers of streams on Not Like Us. He pursued the legal case last November and alleged that Universal Music Group and Spotify had artificially inflated the number of listens on the track. However, there are now reports that the rapper met with Spotify and Universal representatives yesterday to discuss the case. The BBC reported that Spotify, which had filed an opposition, had no objectors, and Universal's, which hadn't filed an opposition, reserved its position. Okay, so I didn't know that Drake was actually going to sue Kendrick, but that shall be interesting, won't it? It shall be an interesting time for everyone involved. Porridge Radio, don't know them. Neil Gaiman's former wife, Amanda Palmer, makes statements on allegations. And finally, Lucy Dacus announces new album, Forever is a Feeling, with 2 ethereal singles. Cool. That's music news. I think there's also musicnews.com, but I feel like the first 3 is usually enough to like kind of get the hang of things. I am going to go. And I'm going to go get some food. To those of you watching after the live stream, thank you very much for watching. For those watching who are kind of like sleeping in the chat, thank you for watching sincerely. I think this is what I'll be. Hello! Who do we have? Who is this? I know your like username. I know your username. The username is... Who is it? No, I don't want to use DeepL for Windows. Chirp. Hello, Chirp. How are you today? Are you okay? You all right? What's up? What's happening? Why is this so small? That's better. You can actually see the stuff on the screen now. Hopefully you're having a good day today. You did. I think you used to have a title, something along the lines of like a mayor or something like that. And now you're called Chirp. I recognize the little image. Who is that little blue guy who is your profile picture? Who is that little one? Yeah, I recognize that. I recognize that. Yeah, mayor of Yonhua City. Nice. I remember you. Been taking care of yourself? Mayor of Yonhua City / Chirp. Good morning, Shinyida. How are you today? Are you good? Have you been taking care of yourself? Happy 2025. Is it like Lunar New Year or something like that at the moment? Lunar New Year? Lunar New Year. Lunar New Year. Is that what it is at the moment? I've been seeing some like seeing some stuff in sort of like shops and stuff saying Happy Lunar New Year. Hard to say Lunar New Year. It's a bit of a mouthful. There is so much news. It's crazy how Rebecca Black came back from Friday. It's crazy that Rebecca Black, even though she got so memed on at the time, was able to find a career. Hello, Jorge Ostos. Hopefully you're well as well. How are you doing at the moment? How is life treating you? Best of luck with work, Shenyida. Best of luck with work. Hopefully everything goes well. Have a great day. Oh, Drake has withdrawn his legal action over Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us. So is he going to sue Kendrick or not? Because it's, maybe I misread the previous article, but I thought he was, but now he isn't. That's probably for the best. He doesn't look very hard when he's suing over a rap song. To be fair, they're heavy allegations. But I don't understand why Kendrick would throw stuff like that unless there was anything behind it, right? What else could we look at? Have you guys had any cool music news? Anything cool happened for you guys music-wise? Like, what's been happening on your end? Eh? Yeah, yeah, man. You're looking after your kids. It's almost bedtime. Yeah, hope. So is it quite late for you guys over there? Yeah, hopefully we get to listen to some cool music today. We will see how things go. There have been no requests so far, but that's okay. It's all chill. If no requests come through, I'll probably just look through a little bit more music news and then I'll probably go and get some food. I don't know. I'm gonna go look at music gear. I don't know. Back to class. No. Why is there not a website that just has cool music? NAMM 2025. Just cool musical instruments. Yeah, there we go. No, I don't want cookies. Oh, right. Are they worried about the fires over there? Is that what they're kind of concerned about? Yeah, no, fair enough. I suppose they would be concerned about that. New music stuff 2025. It's really crazy. I think that a lot of like online media has resorted to like if there's a lot of like devices. It's specifically video oriented. A lot of people are sort of focused on the actual. Yeah. Okay. So really, so that's actually that's really relevant. So they actually don't know if they'll have the North American music in NAM. They don't know if they're gonna have that. That's kind of, yeah. I don't know, man. Oh, who have we got? We got Shinyuda. We got two. Two have come through. Thank you. So I've just had two come through at the same time. So I appreciate you for doing that. But yeah, basically what I will do in future is I'll go through the music news, and then if no requests come through at that point, I might sign off for the session. It just depends. So I just wouldn't assume in future that if like the live stream starts at a time that I'll be on for like an hour if there are no requests. There is a chance that like it'll probably be, if there is a live stream like this and there are no requests, I might just be on for half an hour, if that makes sense. Yeah, but clearly happy to sort of do some music today. Who have we got? So first it is from Chew. So we'll listen to Chew's music today. And what do we have from Chew? Chew. We have this. What is it? It's listening time. So we have this here, and I'm going to put that underneath. I'm not sure what this means, but luckily we have Deep L to help us. So let's go. Let's do it. Thank you, Chew, for this. Oh, it's David Tao. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's so young.
Come on， 在我的伤口上面撒盐巴，跟银行经理说我信用差。That's right, Jamie， 看不顺眼你就开口骂，你会有一天后悔。That's right， 你会有一天后悔。我的心好像有。
Yeah. What I like about it, I'll try not to interrupt too much. I'll try not to interrupt too much. But what I appreciate is that it kind of sounds very kind of pleasant and sort of easy to listen to and kind of chirpy and upbeat. But then there's like an unconventional chord that kind of twists it. And I appreciate the fact that David is messing around with harmonies and finding fun ways to spin things. Great use of hand drums as well. Hell of an articulate bass solo as well. Sorry, I said hell of an articulate bass solo as well. Here we go. Ah, switching to extended. Nice. And the major turn. Fantastic. So what is the song about? What is the song about to you? Because this was, as I understand it, a song from David Tao. The year we listened, or something along those lines. The year that we listened. It's a great song. I'm not sure what it's about because I'm not familiar with the language. I'm just gonna just translate this part here. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the song is about, but I think that the way that David sang was really upbeat and cheery and positive and easy to listen to. There is a little bit of bluesy sassiness in there. And I think that was a smart move to add a bit of edge to it, but he's very comfortable within his range. Was the main focal point, beside the fact there were other solo elements, such as the bass solo that was in there. And it was quite a sizable composition, but it had lots of life throughout it. And yeah, David, again, just there's variations in the level of intensity with the expression, and it was just really exciting. And he seemed to really enjoy his time with it. The track itself, at 4 minutes 41, it was structured in a way that was really intriguing. Like, I wasn't expecting there to be a bass solo in that midsection. The use of hand drums with the more traditional percussion, like the drum kit as well, was kind of cool. It just added a bit more of a sort of a more sort of like tribal layer to it. That made it maybe a little more sort of like of a spiritual experience, almost like a worldly kind of thing. I think that the use of the strum clean guitars gave it a more sort of a poppy sound, and some of the slightly crispier elements there gave it a bit more of an edge that needed to sort of like sit on top really neatly. The bass again with the solo, exploring the scale and fretboard as well in the upper ranges was great when it had space to do so in the lower intensity parts. I think that the bass solo was one of the highlights, but I feel like all the instruments were well balanced within the arrangement. Within the arrangement, should I say? Within the arrangement. Thank you. Thank you, auto captions. I think there was also some brass, great use of piano, ultimately more noticeable in the glissandos up and down the keys. Yeah. The trumpets had a bit of a sort of a sheen and glow to it. Or maybe that could have been keys, to be fair. It could have been a different type of key there. But yeah, no, the strings as well as a final layer, a bit of emotional carry with it, but I feel like it was a smart move there, no complaints. Ultimately, the track grew as it went along. There was dynamic range. Things weren't the same intensity the whole time. The theme itself was major oriented. So when your track is major oriented, it can potentially... When your track is major oriented, yes, when it's more sort of a major key, it can sound a little bit cheesy unless you add unconventional chords to sort of spice things up. Oh, is it? Yeah, is it called... Is the song name Asshole? Is it asshole? Asshole. Asshole. Yeah, is it that? Because that's what it showed as a direct translation for it. But I wasn't sure, so I went the year we listened. But that's cool. I appreciate you confirming that. I think that, again, like, adding that sort of an interlude with the jazzy extensions add a bit of extra sort of sophistication and complexity to it. The studio recording, mixing, and production for a live recording was fantastic. No complaints whatsoever about the way they handled that. You could hear everything in the mix. The performance was well played across the board. Great chemistry between members. And yeah, no, really satisfied with it. It was just a really upbeat, pleasant sounding track with a lot of range, and I think you need multiple listens to really get all the nuances. But thank you to Chew for putting through this track from David Tao titled Asshole. So that's cool, man. That's track number 1 for today. What do we have for the next track? And yeah, it has been a little while since Chew, the mayor, has been around, but it's good to see them. It's good to see they're well. We've got a couple of tracks now from Chen Yida. So we're going to listen through those now, I think. Thanks for your requests. The first track from Chen Yida today that we have is titled... What is it titled? I'm not sure what it's titled, but we're going to find out. Oh, okay. So it's from David Tao. People really wanted a David Tao album review. I would like to do a David Tao album review at some point soon. I think I might just do that. I would like to do that for the 16K sub thing. It's just that the vote went to Hua Xinyu. But we can definitely do that for the next one. Or have I confused things? Did I do his on purpose? Did I muck up? Did I make a mistake? Here we go. Cool. Thank you. I was just confirming that I had it right. I was a little bit confused for a moment, but we're sorted now. So this is Matsuka. Floods. Full version.
黑夜降下来，我也把新的窗帘慢慢拉下来，想起昨日你给甜蜜的伤害，复杂的情绪混着眼泪落下来。 时间的错开，让我们彼此都觉得好无奈。我知道我只是他的替代，时间到了要分开，只好看着你带着微笑装作。 不在意的走开，其实
I appreciate the minimalism with the piano and vocals.
眼角一翻成水彩，再高的墙都挡不起来，一直祈求你给不起的爱，我又哭又闹像个小孩，眼角一翻成水彩，你把你的心封闭起来。 等他把钥匙还给你了，你转过头，我还在这等待。
Hello, Blue Dinner Box. Hello, Blue Dinner Box. How are you today? You good? Smart move bringing in a guitar here. Smart move.
时间的错开，让我们彼此都觉得好无奈。我知道我只是他的替代，时 时间到了要分开，只好看着你带着微笑，装作不在意的走开。其实我眼角已泛成水灾，再高的墙都挡不起来，一直祈求你给不起的爱。我又哭又闹，像个小孩，眼角已泛成水灾。你把你的心封闭起来，等他把钥匙还给你了，你转过头，我还在这等待。
Great bit of vocal fry. Oh.
我眼角已泛成水灾，再高的墙都挡不起来，一直祈求你给不起的爱。我又哭又闹，像个小孩，眼角已泛成水灾。你把你的心封闭起来，等他把钥匙还给你了，你转过头，我还在这等待。
And bring the guitar back in for the end. Nice work. Oh! Hello. Wow, okay. And the piano is gone, and so is the woman. The woman is gone. So that was Matsuka with Floods. I don't think that's his original track, is it? Like, that's not his original song, is it? I think that might be someone else's, but either way, I'm not sure what the track is about because I don't have a translation, but I enjoyed listening to it. I feel like he sang well. Showed solid vocal technique, very comfortable in his range. There was variation in regard to how he expressed himself. It seemed like he was trying to carry an emotional weight and was trying to sort of cry out to whoever he was trying to sort of communicate that to. And we had some backing vocals in that later stage, which I think did suit the aesthetic of it. It was pad-like. It was interesting. So the vocals were well handled, and I can understand. I think we might have had a key change at the end, there, which kind of elevated things further. The track itself was more oriented around a piano vocal duet, which featured a guitar there. I think it might have been I don't think it was a steel string. I think it was a nylon or a classical guitar there, which I think articulated some of the notes within the extended chords of the piano really neatly. There was a great trade or like switch from the singing parts and the verses and choruses. And outside of that, structurally, it was very minimalist. I don't think we needed more than that here. There are adjustments to the parts that were played on the piano that kept things intriguing for the most part. There were parts where it was more simple, other parts it arpeggiated on the right hand, and there were little semitonal chromatic shifts there with the chords there between parts of the end of like the chorus, the verses or whatever going into the chorus, which was cool. But it didn't over embellish it. And I think that was a smart move here. If you do try to do too much, you can sort of take away from the main message of the track. But the piano playing was very competent. The guitar playing was more of a voice rather than a shred solo, which I think was effective. I wasn't trying to alienate too much from the initial theme. The theme was minor oriented, but it was also, I think, trying to be more sort of poppy and catchy in the sense that there weren't any harsh edges. Like there might have been some parallel majors or minors, but yeah, effectively it's conservative, but in a way which is not cheesy. And I think that there was a depth to the track that I feel like you would get more of a hang of if you understood the language natively. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering was tight. I mean, for the most part, I'm not entirely convinced with the leveling of the guitar in regard to, like, I'm not sure that the lead guitar was where it should have been in regard to the piano or vocal parts, but I'd have to sort of gauge that in a mono versus stereo basis outside of headphones. But I still think it was very well done. The instruments individually were carried well. The vocals were present in the mix. The backing vocals were maybe a little bit faded out, but that's okay. Ultimately, I think it was really a great first impression. I think to Matsuka, their stuff. So thank you to Shinyuda for putting this track through. I think it's really well handled. If it is a cover, I'm pretty sure it's a cover. If it's a cover, then I expect it's a good cover. It's well done. So that is track 2 for today. We also have another track from Shinyuda at the link here. I'm not sure what this part is. But this is the 3rd track for today. We have one more in the queue. This is, and yeah, hopefully you're doing well, Blue Dinner Box. Hopefully everyone watching this is having a good day so far and a great start to 2025. You found a popular song that you have mixed feelings about. Why do you have mixed feelings about it? What's making you feel that way about it? Why? I think it's great that you can identify that. Some people try to sort of make it black and white, but it's sometimes better to try and avoid that temptation. Zhao Huangxi, Only Brave, full version MV. Great, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. I think of a multi-band compressor. So I think that they're allowing more of his low end in than his mid-range, because there's this resonance in the low end when he goes to his lower voice there that I like. But I am wondering if that's the case. Our live streams from 12:30 from now on. I think a lot of you guys are coming in about half an hour to an hour after I start, because it's too early. So I know what I'm gonna do for the next week one. I know we talked about a poll for it and stuff like that, but yeah. Sorry to pause it there. Actually, it's on that 5-minute mark anyways. I mean, this is a gorgeous song, so I understand this if I'm not mistaken. Zhao Huangxi, Only Brave. Apparently that is what this track is called. This singer is blind, but he can compose and sing his own songs. That's fantastic. I'm not sure what this track is about, but I think that we have ourselves a very capable singer here, a vocalist who's very comfortable in his range, knows how to affect that hidden chest voice, be a little bit more sort of like vulnerable and sort of like held back when they need to be, but they can go up with a bit more oomph. When you get into that chorus section, it's nice. We can handle key changes. Vibrato's totally fine. I don't think we needed to have too many other vocal elements within a track that is this instrumentally busy. But I feel like otherwise it's very well handled from like an actual mic perspective. The track itself at 5 minutes is really well spaced out. Often the crutch of music within the genre is that you have vocal or lyric-oriented music that does not necessarily make the most of the instrumental backing that is behind it. And I am pleased to note within this track, this is an exception to the rule. There are a wide variety of different instruments within this piece. Most notably to me are the strings. The strings were very busy in this track. They even had their own solo section at the midpoint, and it was really pleasant to listen to. It was really well articulated. The pathways they chose with the melodies, really beautiful. There was dynamic range to it. It was full of life, and it sounded like they were trying to enter the song in a similar way to some of the more tender sung parts. But then you have the strings immediately from the beginning being a wonderful sort of like sideline to what's going on with the piano parts, which are another major focus of this. Very elegant and sophisticated with the major and minor leanings, as well as some of the extension seventh parts there, as well as with various points of chromaticism, parallel major and minors, where we kind of buck the trend in terms of like what's expected in regards to the key signature. And like it's just we go on adventures with this stuff where it not only follows rhythmically along to what the singer is doing, but has great sort of accenting with some of the string and drum parts. It is okay. If you go to the link and if you can make a request, the queue is open. So you go for it. You're welcome to put a request through. As far as I can tell on my end, it is still open. So you're good to go. All good to go. So if we move a bit further here, you have the bass come in. There's string plucks because I know they need to be a little bit more subtle with it. They can't be too sort of like, too sort of forward with it. And then again, you have the drums come in with various sort of eighth note patterns on the cymbals, kicks, and snares with like some sixteenths. And there's lots of different drum fills throughout this track. There's lots of different drum fills and transfers between different parts and little breaks and twists and turns. Everyone's putting a lot of work in. There is like strummed acoustic guitar. But then there's also at the end, I think, a lead section on the right side of the stereo field, which I think is just fun from the electric guitar. So that's cool. And then there's this kind of unusual part with a point of tension throughout this track. Where like it kind of simmers and goes between some uncomfortable chord patterns and progressions. I am wondering if the song is related directly to the video. So it's about like a deaf woman who lost their child and they blame themselves even though they could not have heard the scooter that hit the kid. I'm not sure if this is like them blaming themselves and trying to work through that grief, if that's what the track is about. But like there's these wonderful little twinkly keys in the higher end there. There are these string fluctuations in other parts. It's a really vivacious song. It's a vivacious song that's full of life and full of wonder. And there's a sense of hope with the way that it skyrockets in those upper, like the key change parts. But there's also a sense of sadness with some of the quiet parts. Like this is kind of bittersweet, but we are trying to make our way through. Ultimately, it's a song which is very complicated in regards to the way it's written, but the main theme is both common for the genre and also very accessible. Like there's nothing that alienates you. It's just from an actual analytical perspective, it's very, very fun to sort of like pick apart and figure out what's going on. There's like a natural bell curve near the end where we kind of build up into a point, come back down. We resolve with a wonderful vocal line at the end. And it's very well handled. And it's just the studio recording, mixing, and mastering. That's the final point of contact here, where you have a piece that is just, you know, it's just a song that's just well-rounded, sounds commercial grade. And the vocals, strings, guitars, bass, drums, everything is captured authentically without being overproduced. And yeah, nothing needed assistance. They just played well, and their EQing, filtering, positions, panning is great. Nice and loud with that pumping. Dynamic range. Awesome song. Thank you to Shen Yida for both of these tracks today. I really appreciate you sending them through. This is probably my favorite song so far. I really appreciate what they've tried to accomplish here. So yeah, that one is done. Very impressive. So what do we have next? Do we have another song? We have a few. There are a couple. We have one from Dinahay as well as one from Rose. I assume Dinahay, this is the one you were unsure about, right? So let's do that, and then we've got Owen's afterwards. It's great to see you again too, Owen. Hopefully life is treating you well. Okay, so this is It's Okay, I'm Okay by Tate McRae. Now, Dinahay, have we listened through this before? Have we listened to Tate McRae before? I vaguely recognize that name. I wouldn't have found it on my own, I don't think. So this is Tate McRae with It's Okay, I'm Okay. Very different to the previous.
So excited, you got on lockdown. You move it like I did before I found out. It's just a pretty face talker, good with his money, close to his mother. You see one-sided, you got alright now. And she'd be like, he's so perfect. I'd be like, oh, perfect. Nobody got me as nervous, but baby, I've been there. You're right in that same position, so baby, don't get this twisted. I'm not gonna make me miss it. Hey, got me serious. It's okay, I'm okay. Had him in the first place. It's okay, I'm okay. It's okay, I'm okay. I don't really gotta say it's okay. You can have him anyway. Anyway, you can have him anyway. Anyway, we're such a romance.
It's very, this is the thing, and then this is the thing, and then this is a subchapter, and then this is a new thing. There's all these movements with things around the sides of the stereo field. The vocals constantly call and respond. It's very much kind of paranoid that you're going to lose attention.
You got me like fuck that. Some monsters on our place. Now I can go near that. And she'd be like, he's so perfect. I'd be like, oh, perfect. Nobody got me as nervous. Oh, baby, I've been there. You're right in that same position. So, baby, don't get this twisted. I'm not gonna make me miss it. Hey, got me serious. It's okay, I'm okay. Had him in the first place. It's okay, I'm okay. It's okay, I'm okay. I don't really gotta say it's okay. You can have him anyway. Anyway, you can have him anyway. Anyway, it's okay, I'm okay. Had him in the first place.
Okay, and adding the mid-range stuff to it as well. That's cool.
I don't really gotta say it's okay. You can have him anyway. Anyway, you can have him anyway. Anyway.
And the bell curve comes down. Okay, so basically, this is It's Okay, I'm Okay, which is from Tate McRae. Yeah, so I think this is someone that's potentially struggling with the fact that they actually don't have the person anymore. I think they're not being serious when they talk about, yeah, that's just kind of bitter because things didn't work out and they kind of miss the person, but they're kind of coping. It's basically a song about copium. It's a song about copium, as far as I'm aware. I think that there is an inherent catchiness to the vocal style, not just with the sung parts, where there's a breathiness to the vocals, which I think suits with this. It's very soft. The breathiness is soft in comparison to like the very, very intense kicks and 808s and stuff like that. I think that's a smart move. I feel as if what they're trying to accomplish with the spoken parts is more conversational, and that's just a way of kind of retaining their thoughts, like the listening of the listener, I suppose. How do I say it? Talks and then sings and talks and sings and talks and sings and does like 3 of that loop, and then the song's done. And there's like an iteration as part of the end with the drums and then without the drums there. And it's very sort of simple, easy to kind of follow along with compositional development. They have slight variations with the bass line and chord progressions and stuff like that. A lot of the wonderment of it actually comes through to the relative intricacy, just kind of giving this a chance to reset itself. A lot of what's interesting comes through for me from the instrumental parts there. But I do agree with you, Blue Dinner Box. It does sound like Britney Spears. It does kind of remind me of that, but I think they're trying to combine it with more attention deficit. I mean, like at 2 minutes 36, clearly they can rap and they can do the talky singing stuff. And then they can do the kind of breathy, and they've got like backing vocals, which are very well placed and they're musically sound. And I think that's cool. The track itself is a mixture of like, there's so much going on. The drum kit with like the sub hi-hats and all the different cymbal shimmers and stuff like that is almost secondary to that thump of that kick drum there. The pulse of the kick with the not just quarters, just the eighths and sixteenths. It's just so rock solid and raw. It's very confrontational.
It's okay, I'm okay, and I'm in the first.
It's bum 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 bum, and there's little sort of like melodies that go along it, like on the synths, little kind of hits there, and it's like yeah, no bum 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 bum, and there's pads which rise and sort of add this sense of dynamic range to it. So you got all these pads like working overtime, and then we kind of roll over, and then it comes down, and there's constant playing with the intensity of the dynamic range with this piece.
She'd be like, he's so perfect. I'd be like, nobody got me. It's okay, I'm okay.
But I do like the fact that the hi-hats are more solid in those. It's okay, but it just adds a little bit of shimmer in that mid to high range that when it's taken away immediately contrasts. It immediately contrasts without that more noticeable element. I do agree the mixing is solid. The production is also one of the highlights of this track. I think it is very well handled. It's just very clean. I think with the theme itself, it's more meant to sort of be like, this is like a war cry in the sense of, no, seriously, I'm fucking fine with this. I'm totally fucking coping with this. It's very like kind of wanting you to back off and sort of like take your shit elsewhere. That's the kind of vibe I get from the way things are represented. There's a sense of mistiness and almost fantasy in regards to the synth pads when they come in and they work with major and minors. But then it's very simple and blunt in those hook sections where it's very kind of like in your face and cutthroat. So I feel like the contrasts within the track, again, are very well handled there. The vocals, whether they're the sides or the mains, the synths, the pads, the drums, the bass, various different drum kits and different bits of percussion there are all well leveled, nicely spread throughout the frequency spectrum. Things go back and forth in the stereo field as well, in the stereo field as well. The panning is handled, and just quickly checking. And just a comment on the 808s. I like how the 808s are done the bass. The bass, the 808s can kind of be a little bit too kind of, oh, but they've mixed the bass in a way where even though it hits you in the skull, it's also melodic. Like you can hear the kicks are meant to be that main thump. So that's sort of that main thump. So you've got the 808s almost sort of supporting them with just more behind it, if that makes sense. I feel like, yeah, that's part of what is so good about the production. They've found functions for things, they work. And so you basically, just before we move on, Blue Dinner Box, is it simply that it sounds too similar to Britney Spears? Is that it? Because if that's the case, I'd agree. I don't really hear something within this track that is unique to Tate McRae. It sounds like a song that is meant to be catchy and kind of get stuck in your head, be an earworm, but I don't hear anything particularly original. Yes. Okay, guys. See how I'm adding this today. See how Sarah says open. If it is open, the queue is open. Also, if you go to the link in Ko-fi and you can see that there is an opportunity to add something, the queue is open. But if I type closed, and this is a new thing I'm doing today, it will be closed. Yes, we are slowly, glacially fixing this so that it makes more sense. But yeah. Thank you to Blue Dinner Box for putting this track through. I appreciate being able to hear Tate McRae, and I hope that they continue to develop more of an identity for themselves beyond the audiovisual experience. I think the attitude and temperament are quite like Britney Spears. Hopefully they can find more of themselves as they go along. I would agree, though, to an extent. To be fair, oh yeah, solid dance music. Don't get me wrong. The pump of that, the pulse of that bass, absolutely. Blue Dinner Box, should I say? Absolutely. Hell yeah. 1000%. Totally get behind that, man. Totally get behind that. So apparently we've got a lot of tracks to do. I was not expecting this many songs, but we do. So we're going to do some more. So we've got more from Rose. Thanks for your request. So, can I actually remove that? Because it's quite, because we've got, thanks for your requests. There we go. Cool. Because there's a couple to do. So we've got 3 of the favorite songs these days. That's cool. We can hear that. So we've got a few from Rose. We've got one from Shinyuda, a couple from Shinyuda as well. So there's a total of 5 in the queue, which is 4 more than I had a moment ago. Well, let's do it. So this is Only Shallow, My Bloody Valentine. Let's do it. What have we got? Only Shallow. Thank you for your request. Really interesting vocal style. Interesting effect, kind of like an elephant trunk. Hi, Roxy. How's it going? How's it going? Not bad, just listening to My Bloody Valentine. I mean, that'd have to be a volume pedal, wouldn't it? Or delay, potentially. So it is a delay of some kind. That's cool. So that was Only Shallow by My Bloody Valentine. So like a lot of this track was split into multiple, like 2 main sections. You have that brown, that kind of guitar riff there with a mixture of like volume pedal-esque kind of delay and reverb there. And then you have these vocal parts. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure what was being said. I was listening to it, but I'm not quite sure what was being said. Owen, Rose, can you please let me know what this track is about? It's like, I can't tell whether it's just the vocals aren't being enunciated in a way where you can tell what's going on, or if it's a deliberate thing to make it more smooth and more melodic. I feel but I think it's an interesting vocal style for sure. It suits this. What would this genre be? What would this genre be? Because I kind of want to say shoegaze comes to mind, but I feel like I don't know enough about the genre to really sort of like qualify it. But it's really interesting music. I think that the vocal technique itself works well within the genre, and the notes are hit cleanly. They can clearly sing. It's just a style. Something like that dreamy stuff. Yeah, so that's more of a dreamy aesthetic that makes sense with the vocal style. So that's cool. Oh, yay, I got it. Thanks, guys. I finally managed to correctly identify something as shoegaze. So that's cool. So that's cool. I appreciate that. So I think that with the vocals out of the way and that dreamy aesthetic established, you have a song where it starts with the drums with that snare build, and there's this kind of groove set up with a 16-note pace with the drums, with the kick, snares, and cymbals, and they move between like the hi-hats and the rides, stuff like that, depending on where they're at. And the drums are more of a constant throughout. The bass line sticking with the root notes. The guitars, they're either playing overdriven bar chords or power chords. The guitar being more sort of a support unit, unless it's those volume pedal. The way those are oscillated is really intriguing. Just checking. And there are these really pleasant movements between different chords in it where there's no harsh edges. It's very misty sounding all around. It's meant to sound very soothing, even with that bit of overdrive or distortion. It's a nice mixture of tones and textures. And then you just kind of have things fade off at the end to be more atmospheric. And I adore it. It kind of makes me want to hear more. It's music where it's not trying to catch your attention. It's more allowing you to be submerged in it. So I think that's really smart. The song at 4 minutes 16, I think when you understand what it's trying to accomplish makes sense. And I think that because it is very pleasant and peaceful, and even the kind of bits of tension aren't too sharp, it you like it's great. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, if that makes sense. What else do I want to say about it? I think ultimately it's a performance that was not trying to be too perfect, but part of the way it works is the post-production as well as the effects change on the guitars and other parts of the mix. The theme is meant, I think, to combine tension with those wow with more of a going back into the dream. So maybe it's meant to represent someone going backwards and forwards between sleep and dreams, and at the end you go into the next one. And the studio recording, mixing, and mastering, it's not super clean or precise, but it's not meant to be. You can hear things in the mix. It's very fluffy. There's not a lot of substance to too many things, but that's the intent. It's more of meant to represent, again, as dreams that we've discussed. No, I haven't. I have not listened to them before, but I do like them. I think they sound cool. I think they sound cool. So thank you to introducing me to them. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. I feel as if you could, again, like the production is competent for the genre that it's in. It's not over-polished or sterilized. I think that works in its favor. That was only shallow. Thank you for your request, Owen. That's cool. I wouldn't mind hearing more of that in the future, but we will see how we go. For now, what do we have next? I think we have another track from Owen or Rose. And this one is titled Overture by The Who. So let's go. Second track today by The Who. I have listened to The Who. Thank you. I have listened to The Who. Though not much. Honestly, this is a genre of music that I am not as familiar with. So y'all are doing me a massive favor. I appreciate it. They are influential. Yeah, maybe it's worth listening to more of them in my own time as well. I don't know. I wouldn't mind it, but we'll see how we go. But this is Rose as well. Thank you. How that guitar tickles your eardrums on the right side, dude. This is going to be a bit of a journey, isn't it? Articulate drum work there. They are fun, absolutely. We actually have... Are they actually meant to represent elephants? Because I don't... At this point in time, there's so much... How am I going to review this? Sorry, I am going to review it, but I was wondering how am I going to review it? I have to keep an eye on these... I have to keep an eye on these captions, man.
child will never know him. Believe him, miss him with a number of men. Don't expect to see him again.
Crazy, dude. The panning on that.
It's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy. It's a boy, Mrs. Walker.
Oh no, it went to the next song. No, it caught me. It caught me. No, damn it. That's so small. Sorry. That's so smooth. That's so smooth. So that was Overture by The Who. Oh, goodness me. What do we think of this one? How do I review this? So my understanding, the start of this album, titled Tommy by The Who, by The Who, should I say, it's about Captain Walker. They didn't come home. His unborn child will never know him. And then the child, I presume, gets born afterwards. And it's the journey that they have. So that is what the track is about. Starting off the album, it's showcasing the different instrumental patterns they have there. Yeah, it's a great start to proceedings for sure. The vocals that are there for these 4 lines, Captain Walker, Don't Come Home, it's sung really well. It's on the left side of the stereo field, which is the opposite from the guitar on the right side. So it goes from a full sounding wild composition to simply becoming a bit more minimalist and just having a person with their guitar. It's almost like a narration, if that makes sense. And the note choices make sense. They're simple, they work with the chords, and the guitar simplifies itself to make amends for that. So the vocals are well handled. But the focus of this track is simply the fact that it's everything else. So if we start from the start, you know, you have the piano coming with that and the guitars and the drums and everything like that. There's lots of different drum grooves throughout this, lots of different drum patterns and different tom sections, especially in the middle there with the way there's sort of 16th triplets they play off a lot of the complex sort of open chordal or bar chordal strum parts there that the guitarist is doing in the sides. But like clearly there's like a distorted or overdriven guitar on the left there that's more sort of either held chords or they become a bit more sort of like raucous later on. But a lot of the right side steel string is more sort of fast sort of strum stuff, maybe some picked arpeggiated bits, open chordal elements there, some almost some like some claw hammerish stuff going on as well with the bass notes. And again, it's just such a complicated track to really sort of break down in the space of a few minutes. But it's just a wide variety of different snare grooves, as Jacob mentioned as well. And the fact that you have the trumpet come in as sort of like a lead on top that is just very kind of fluffy but elegant, and it adds a sense of direction to the piece, even though it's sort of our tempo in parts there. The tempo switches up. There's twists and turns. Some concepts feed into others. It's never one idea for too long, unless it's near the end where it kind of resolves and it starts to come into the album as opposed from the adventure that was occurring beforehand. And you kind of assume that what they're discussing with Captain Walker Didn't Come Home is all the stuff, all the twists and turns that the music is communicating. So I think that's cool. And then we have, of course, we have the vocal, like the harmonies here that I've just found there that aren't words, but they're more sort of like chordal pad-like elements that fill the frequency spectrum in a way, or the stereo field in a way as well. That's very satisfying. It's beautiful. It sort of amps up the ante of it. And of course, you have a continuation of the strum part, some of the power chordal parts on the left, the drums, the bass, and you have the organ accenting another certain element, a chapter of it. And it's just little inclusions of new instruments that come in as you go along to kind of like spice things up and make them more exciting. And then you have like the elephant sounds from the brass. Bra, 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 they're just, again, maybe they went to Africa. Maybe that's why there's the elephant sounds. And it's just a lot to take in. But it's very well played. As Jacob said, it's amazing composition. It is very vibrant. They're trying to tell a story without saying any words. And they're leaving the listener to sort of figure things out on their own without that extra context. And I feel like you would need time to really kind of break this down and sort of figure everything out on your own. But it's very clever music and very well written and well played. So I feel there are various chapters throughout this track to establish a certain theme is to overtly minimize it to a point where it's a detriment. But what I will say about the song is that it was a fun adventure to go through. It's more trying to tell a story through the music. The extra context lyrically at the end is simply to kind of help the person figure out the rest before it. So you get multi-listen from it. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering is really well handled. You can hear everything nice and clearly in the mix there, the vocals, the guitar parts, the brass, the keys, the organs, everything in there. It's a great performance. They all played live in the room. And nothing but love for it, man. Nothing but love for it. It's an awesome song. And I think it's, I can understand why The Who are so revolutionary. So thank you to Rose for putting this track through. I do really feel like I am learning a lot about this music today. And it does make me want to kind of listen to more music from these musicians. I feel like kind of naked at the moment, if that makes sense. Almost like I feel like naive. But yeah. That was cool. Hopefully that review made sense. I feel like I didn't do it justice, but I did the best that I could. We've got a track from Shen Yida now, though. You just need to enjoy the concert. Thank you, I appreciate it. I will enjoy the concert. Thank you, Shen Yida. I will still probably say some things about it, but we will see how we go, okay? I can't help myself. Sometimes I talk too much. Where is the link, though? Here we go. Hey, Ame! It's just great to see everyone having such a good time. You know, it's great to see everyone having such a good time. It's kind of amazing that they were... So you're saying it's the first time, Shinyuda, that they had been able to fly, or that they had flown a hot air balloon in the dome. That's wild. How did they do this? How do air balloons work? How do they do it? How do they do this? To be fair, there are little lines or cables you can see there, I think. It just seems like so much fun. You know, it just seems like such a good time. Because it's actually a massive venue, isn't it? It's huge. This venue is also the venue for the Taiwan Baseball Top 12 tournament. It wouldn't surprise me. It's massive, dude. It's massive. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have to stop at the 5-minute mark. I've been a bit slack with that today, but we are going to have to stop at the 5-minute mark. But what I would like to say, Shinyuda, is that I enjoyed listening to the concert. I really enjoy watching people have fun. There's so much silly stuff that goes on in the world nowadays that it makes me happy when I see Ame just in a hot air balloon inside a venue. I love it to pieces. It's just so great to because they're singing really well, and I understand. I have been asked. There is no need to analyze the background instruments in this video, Logan. You just need to enjoy the concert. I did. Thank you. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the concert. I think it was really pretty. I think that it would have been so much fun to be a part of it. I think that more people should do hot air balloon concerts. And I think that we chose some really great tracks for it as well. Again, I have been asked not to sort of focus too much on the instrumental backing. So I would say that Ame smashed the vocals in a live setting. In tune, great vocal technique, comfortable in the head and chest voice. Jacob Good says she's a legend and a close friend of Zhang Yuxing. Awesome. And that's, yes, I remember reviewing some stuff from Ame when I think when I was doing the Zhang Yuxing discography, and I really enjoy Ame's work as well. I reviewed quite a bit of it. I think Shin Yida, you have sent some stuff from Ame in. It's been a good time. Hello, Little Novik. How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Lil Novik checking in 100%, 100%, 100%. Fantastic to hear you are here 300%. Owen Rose went to the Omnipotent Youth Society's. You, Owen, I am so envious of you, dude. I would have loved to have gone to see Omnipotent Youth Society, but I am happy for you. I'm happy that you got to go. They're an amazing band. But thank you, Shinjida, for that. I think there were great songs for this concert. I think the light show was spectacular. Thank you, Lil Novik. We'll get your song done as soon as possible. I think there is a bit of a queue, but we'll keep moving through it. The queue at the moment, I think, is 4. So I just needed to sort of like update that. But yeah, I think that, yeah, I don't know how they could have possibly improved this. It's just a fun time. So thank you, Shinyuda, for that. I appreciate it. So yeah, we got that now. What is the next track for us, though? We've got a track from Rose. So we got Rose here. Thanks for your request. And so that is going to be, what have we got? We've got Time Flies, but now I am familiar with Sheena Ringo, to be fair. I am familiar with Sheena Ringo, so we are in more familiar territory here. So it's fine either way. It's good to hear new musicians. Just while I load this up, you know the stuff from The Who? The Who. Why is it when I say The Who, it's Ho? Ho. I don't know. This AI is weird, man. It's weird. But we've got this track from Sheena Ringo titled Time Flies. Thank you, Owen, for this. Let's do it. There's a bit of high-end resonance, but that's okay. Incredible hi-hat work or cymbal work. The distortion on the piano is intriguing. It is Mozart Piano Sonata number 11, K331 in the middle. Interesting. Thank you, Owen. So that was Time Flies by Sheena Ringo. What do I think this track is about? Kind of makes me wonder whether this is like a retrospective on their life. They're kind of looking back at how things used to be and how they are now. And the time and what's occurred over that period. I'm not quite sure. It's really interesting. A really interesting song. The vocals from Sheena Ringo are so raw and vibrant, and there's these cracks and a kind of an unusual kind of edge to them that's very much their voice, and it's part of why Sheena Ringo's is so instantly recognizable. And it cuts through the mix, and I think that it suits this well. In a song where we have distorted pianos and the kind of more kind of room mic'd drum parts to make them more in the background, it makes a lot of sense. We sing well, fantastic vocal technique, very incredibly expressive, suits it all around. No complaints about the vocal performance at all. The track itself at 5:10, it has this main piano idea that is built upon over time. You have the vocals sitting on top of it for a lot of it in various intensities. If you start at the beginning, you have the sound of the rain in the background, the Foley, like someone kind of thinking about it on like a stormy day or something like that. And it's pushed like it's a loud mix, but it's fine because it's well recorded. And you have this incredible sort of hi-hat and cymbal work in certain parts that were 30 seconds, and it's very tender and timid and little and finessed, but they smash it. And the drummer is just an absolute virtuoso. That the drummer is an absolute machine. Like, I don't know how they came up with what they did and how they made it work, especially in that last chorus section where stuff just gets absolutely ridiculous, but they did. The start and end are distorted but transitioned to a harmonic Mozart piece in the middle, giving a symmetric structure. Phenomenal. I like that. I think that is a fantastic summation of that. Absolutely. I mean, like, you just have this push of the drums. They slow down sometimes, and they kind of go in time with the waltz-like structure, the playing, the accents of the the piano playing. You might have a bass in there, but it's more sort of drum piano and sort of like vocal oriented, and it's just got this push pull, like you're going backwards and forwards between parts, and it's just so full of life and unpredictable. With that symmetrical structure, you have a piece which never becomes predictable. It builds over time with those changes in distortion almost being the thoughts that are kind of getting muddled in our brain as we move along. And then we do include that part there, which I think is what we're referencing there. And it's this phenomenal loop on the keys, which does include maybe a part from a past that we remember fondly or whatever, but then we kind of switch back out to what kind of clouds us. And so I think the music is doing a lot of the lifting. I think that if you had the lyrics, like if you understood the lyrics natively and could put it with the music, it'd just be an incredible, just massive experience. For me, I had a fantastic time just listening to the song. Jacob mentioned the song probably sounds even more incredible live. I would believe that. Apparently, Owen says it was written when she was 17. That blows my fucking mind. I can't fathom that this was written when they were 17. That's amazing. Nothing but love for it. Thematically, it does sound like we're kind of dancing through our own memories with the rhythm, the flow of it there. There's a lot of noise and distorted elements which indicate that we might be struggling with some of these parts, even if there's some nostalgia for how certain things used to be, especially with the classical stuff. Music production wise, part of what makes this work is the movement between the distorted and non-distorted structures and textures, in combination with what is going on with the room miking of the drums, putting them in the background, the way they're phrased and filtered there, the way the music surrounds you in the headphones, the tightness, the claustrophobia of the mix makes sense because this is within the person's head, and maybe it's too much for them to process. But nothing's overproduced or overpolished. It's just a really raw, kind of grabs you by the throat song that was also incredibly beautiful. And both it's a lot of what it sounds like and like musically as compositionally as well as its humanity. So thank you to Owen. Thank you to Rose for putting this through. I appreciate it. This track, Time Flies by Sheena Ringo. Hopefully that was a sufficient review of that. I feel like there's just a lot of Sheena Ringo stuff that I haven't heard yet that I would like to go through in my own time. Did I not say that was done? It's now done. Cool. So that's cool. So we have 3 tracks in the queue. So this next one is from Shenyida. 3 Yoru request. Here we go. Let's do it. So what is... Oh no! Oh no, Shenyida, you... Oh no! No, oh, I get it. I understand. So, Shenyida, if you're watching this, you... Oh no, I didn't realize. I didn't realize that you'd put through both for the same song. I apologize. So we're going to go back to the RMA track we had before. And we're going to listen. We're going to start from the halfway point just to enjoy the rest of that concert. I appreciate that. I get it now. So we're going to listen through the rest of it. That was my bad. So to go from the halfway point, I think it was here. Where was the halfway point of this? So this is a continuation of the previous video request that Shin Dai had. It's just I think we put both two for that. So thank you for that, Shin Dai. I appreciate that. Just gonna keep this playing here. This is track number 2. I wonder how it's going to end. It's amazing what phone cameras and microphones can do nowadays, because this was clearly recorded on a phone. But it does sound pretty good. Like, the vast majority of this is coming through really clearly. There's a little bit of bass resonance, but that's okay. And like everyone in the crowd is into it. I mean, granted, you've got like the people with like the sticks, and the sticks are kind of bopping them around. And then you've got the people on the cell phone that are recording it. Oh, so they go in the crowd as well. They've got like a camera for it as well. That's cool. So the idea, I suppose, is to go around the entire concert venue. That's fantastic. That was good times. So I suppose closing comments on that again, just to sort of iterate. Apparently, according to Shin Yuda, Ame Chang rode a hot air balloon around the Big Dome Stadium, which can accommodate 40,000 people, and greeted the fans upstairs. That's awesome. I feel like, just to comment on this as well, because this is a secondary request, again, with the understanding that I've been asked to kind of talk about, like, I suppose just enjoy the concert. Again, I did enjoy the rest of the song as well. I feel like, I can't do that. I don't know who that is. I've been getting phone calls from, like, real estate agents and stuff like that, and I can't answer them. It's just tricky, you know. It's just tricky, you know. What do I want to say? I think that the most important thing that like you can get from a live performance is that interaction with the crowd. And I know this is like an obvious thing, but like literally Ame going around the place in the hot air balloon and just enjoying just that experience, that sort of trying to do something different to really sort of reach out is just so, especially because you look at like the actual stage, and if that's the stage there, it's just so massive. I mean, 40,000 people, you just got to kind of reach out to them. So I think it's really cool. I don't want to sort of do too much sort of like yapping, but you know, like looking at a concert here, it makes me feel like if I was to go to an Ame concert, you'd have a lot of fun. So thank you to Shinyuda for putting that through. I'm glad I listened through the rest of it. I'm glad that we got to check that out. Awesome. That was cool. It was great just to be able to see that. So that is Shinyuda's one done. We got 2 more though, I think. 2 more tracks. So we've got one from Jacob. Good. Thanks for your request. Here we are. And so what has Jacob got for us today? Jacob has got what? Tanya Schwa, 10,000 mils of tears. So we've listened to Tanya. I think we listened to Tanya yesterday, didn't we? I think it was like on the last live stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I remember we listened to her because there was a rapping song that you sent through from a competition, and that they featured in that, if I'm not mistaken. But here we go. This is 10 liters of tears.
能给的我都给，于是天蓝转灰转黑，也微笑不插嘴，这一次会气馁，连平凡爱一回，都在将心给谁，马上又被粉碎。
Sorry about that.
满意了吗？你究竟有完没完？你烦不烦？总考验我多勇敢，有那么难？那么幸福和美满，我不贪婪，只求多些夜晚，不必算。
They are joy. So basically, if you look down here, I don't know if it's how visible it is depending on your cell phone. You can see the queue is open. So the queue is open. The moment that it is closed, it will say closed, the queue is closed. I mean, the strings are a natural development here. They work. It's such a da 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 mo. I can't. I can't do it. Da 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 bow. That kind of wow. That kind of that roll off that they have there is just so fantastic. I love how they sing. It makes you appreciate someone who can sing. You know. But the strings are so beautiful, man. The strings are so pretty. Awesome. So that was Tanya Schwa with 10,000 mil of tears. What do I think the track is about? Jacob, what is the song about? I assume it's a grieving process of some sort. Yeah, no, fantastic music. Sung incredibly well by Tanya. It is, Owen. It's very genuine. It's very genuine. It just seems like there is such a focus on that main lead being the storyteller, and they navigate effortlessly through this piece in a way that never becomes uninteresting. There are these little fluctuations in expression, and we adjust to suit. Sure, the choruses are consistent, but the verses adjust, and like you listen to different parts. But there's also space for the piano. What I appreciate about Tanya is that they know they can sing well, and there are these really captivating melodies, and we navigate between a head and chest voice very well, and it never becomes dull or vague. It is quite emotionally rich. I think a lot of it is due to the timbre of the voice as well, and knowing how to affect that in a way that elicits the mood or vibe. And elicits the mood or vibe that you're looking for, but it's also due to the fact that the feelings are there, and those feelings come through and they affect how you communicate as well. So I think it's very, very done very well in that regard. The actual track with the piano parts the piano is a wonderful accompaniment through this track structurally with verses and choruses and other little bits and instrumental breaks. It's great to have the keys allow enough space for Tanya to sing, whilst also being interesting enough on the right hand to navigate in a way that doesn't rub them up the wrong way, but also it kind of softens some of the sadder parts. Maybe some of the parts that are a bit kind of almost sort of fryish with the vocals, but it's also it kind of finds tonal equilibrium in the parallel major and minors that you have in the chorus there, almost like this is part of life, is like crying is part of life, if that makes sense. Strings come in second verse, and they are just a natural point of development. They add a little bit extra to the track. You get the single voice there, which is the person by themselves, and the piano is there sort of to continue facing forward. But you just get more nuance because of the notes the strings choose and how they interact with what the piano is doing with the harmonies and melodies and the bass line. And then later on, you get the string harmonies, which really fill in the frequency spectrum and stereo field. And then you have everything together. It's naturally more intense. There's development there in regards to the dimensionality of that. And ultimately, it's a track which finishes in a way that's very sweet and tender and soothing, without being too sort of musically, like it's accessible without being generic. And I think that Jacob mentions the idea is that on average, a human accumulates 10 liters of tears in a lifetime, and how she relates to her breakups and how love are often requited might not even be about romantic love, also parental love, familial love, friendship. Yeah. It's fantastic use of minimalism with instrumental layers to make it work. Thematically, I feel like it's going through a healing process, but also just, it's almost melancholic, more bittersweet. just understanding that it's okay for things to not be the way you want them to be, and that you're just going to have to cry sometimes, and that's just how it is. And so I think like studio production wise, it works because it is not trying to overcomplicate the process. The vocals sound raw without, well, no, they sound commercial grade without being too overpolished. Tanya can just clearly sing. The strings and piano come in and they're very well presented and niche well with each other. Mixing, EQing, panning of stuff, development over time, dynamic range, loudness. All good. Fantastic track. Thank you for sharing this, Jacob. I really appreciate it. That was Tanya Chua, if I'm not mistaken and not butchering that pronunciation, with their track 10,000 Mils of Tears. I'm glad they're a prolific songwriter. They did tremendously well. And you're welcome, Jacob. I appreciate it. It's good to hear it, man. Yeah, it's one of those, it's a situation where I'm kind of sad that I don't know the language natively. I feel like you'd have more of a time with it if you understood it like that, but it's just part of just not knowing not knowing everything. So this next track is from Lil Novik. Thanks for your request. I'm unsure if this is an original or a one that they like. Either way, it is fine. Okay, cool. So this is Lil Novik. I'm him. This is an original, if I understand correctly, and we're going to listen through this now. Lil Novik, 16. So doing well, getting in young. 16 from Wilmington, Delaware. Let's do it. Let's hear it. Let's go. I mean, the theme is interesting immediately.
I ain't never had to pillow talk my man for some cat who raised you niggas. I ain't getting all this tanny, that cause I was raised a little different. I told Shorty lay back now, she can't come with me on this mission. 2 weeks later, I ain't see him since. I think Lil Novik just went missing. Where he at, baby? I just been running up all this chicken, keep it P. I kept it P, cause man, I'm always on my pivot. They put me last, look at the board now. I bet I'm the first one listed. I said plenty of time we was gonna be up, I guess you didn't listen. Yeah, I know they see me now. Back then I was having battles on Facebook. Let me show them what I could do now. Hey, doing?
That little bit of attitude there, I appreciate that. I like how we're varying the intensity of how we're communicating.
Hey, yo, what happened to the young boy sound? Ain't nothing happened. I'm just rapping and I'm always switch up my style. Let's talk about the 10th grade. I got played like a clown. It's okay, you hear my feelings. I'm making money, I'm a rapper now. Why you trying to hold her back? You know she want be with the king. I want the face, but I don't got time. When she call, I let it rain. I'm him. You know I'm him, so girl, stop doing that. I know she got a man. I play my role, so I'm just falling back. I hit your phone one time and you ain't answer. I ain't calling back. She doubted me for a while now. She had a heart attack. And that's just how I went. I lost a couple people, yeah, it hurt. But I don't wanna vent, I wanna win. But don't get it twisted, cause my haters gon' bend. All these clowns be hating on me, man, them goofies not my friend. Man, let's put this to the test. I ain't gonna like the rest. You want some more designer clothes, you gotta flex till you finesse. Hell nah, that's not what I did. I was just adding up these checks. Mama say I need to pray, I call her Kiki, now a blast. Oh my God, that's how you feel. Man, I've been feeling this way. All them 2 for young boys hating on me, man, them niggas gay. I'm a confident young man, but can't let nobody get my way. Man, I'm boogie wearing UA, I got Pradas on the way. Yeah, I know I'm in my bag, I'm trying to be up there with Vlad. Text her, man, why she with me? I know the game, I can't be mad. Something wrong with Shorty here, why would she leave when I'm ready blast? I can't blame her though, she ain't know I'm nothing like the last. Man, I'm him, wishing in you Michael, cause baby girl, I'm trying to swim. All the vibes we come to active, so you know we coming trim. Man, I'm him, I got thotties with bodies that look like him. I be carrying this mask for too long, I'm ready to go to the gym.
I've been carrying this mask for too long. I'm ready to go to the gym. No, this is really well done. So this is from Lil Novik. It's an original, and it's titled I'm Him. And basically, I think this track is about someone who's really sort of solidified their own presence, their own person as a musician, as well as a person. They're talking about the people they're with. They're talking about the people that they've lost over time. You get the impression that it's a comfortable, it sounds like it's very comfortable for them to sort of like spit their truth over the mic. Like, it's a really competent vocal performance. Jacob was impressed by the flow. I like the flow that started the song. Yeah, I do, because I agree. I think that when you come out of the gate, You allow the theme to speak for itself, the main sort of beat. You then sort of come into pace, and it's like a situation where you kind of, if you're going to have like a really interesting musical motif like that, you need to have the vocals on par with that. The variety of different sort of percussive elements and stuff like that you have at the beginning needs to be articulated within the lyrics in the way no, it's good. So we varied our flow, our rhythm with the way we rapped there. We didn't have the same kind of expression the entire time. We changed up depending on what we were saying there. We were a bit more loose with some parts. So other parts we were very, very tight with the percussion. And I just think we tried to sort of compartmentalize certain parts into certain bits in a way that made this 2-minute 16 track really sort of interesting to listen to. I don't think you needed to do anything differently. With the vocals, there are also these like backing parts where the vocals would go from the side and there'd be like sort of like overdubs and like this part and then here, and lots of attention to detail with it. I think the production is really solid as well. And so I think when you combine the attention to detail with the vocals and the overdubs and the way things are going around the background, that's enough. But if you go back to the start of the track, you've got those kind of very authoritative string parts there, which kind of stab at you a little bit. And it's a very simple bass line underneath. It kind of rolls with the one note, maybe going between octaves or fifths. But like it knows what it wants to do with the 808s. The drums, they're nicely sidechained. You have some little click sounds with the kicks and like the clap patterns, and the cymbals as well are set the pace really neatly. A little bit of sort of Foley with the sound of the vehicles and the video as well. Great connection with the video audio visual experience there, which was good. And just going for a little bit more. And you have these kind of pads which almost sound like it's more of a sort of like a fantasy element, almost like we're creating a story for ourselves. So it's minor oriented theme wise, which is good. And I think that what we handled here was the listener sitting there and kind of taking the person seriously. And it was like, I think if the vocals had been too aggressive, it would have seemed like too much, but we were relatively measured by that. So I think the confidence in the theme matched the confidence on the mic. And I mean, if we're 16 and we're releasing stuff like this, I do wonder what you can do to go further from this, whether it's an EP or an album effort or something like that, or just sticking to singles for now. But ultimately, I feel like the main focus would potentially be trying to sort of like further niche yourself potentially in a way where when someone heard a track, they knew it was you. And it'll be cool to see what Novik does in future. But thank you to Lil Novik for sending this track through. The post-production, I think that the way we occasionally stop the beat sometimes to allow space was good. There was dynamic range, not a lot of it, but enough to be able to there was like a little bit of dynamic range, but not enough to like really sort of make it sort of too different, but it was short enough that it made sense. I think, again, the way that the strings, the bass, the drums, etc. were handled with the vocals and any sort of Foley elements and stuff was good. It was really well handled. So I think the production is studio grade. I think it's ready for release. Yeah, awesome stuff. You're welcome, Lil Novik. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Aroused Pineapple. Really appreciate that. It's good. I don't know how many requests we have left, but I've enjoyed the one so far. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's submitted a request so far. I really appreciate it. It's been good to hear a lot of music. We heard a lot of music today. I'm not sure who's next, but we will find out after Lil Novik's really dope track. We've got two more. We've got Joy McVeigh. So Joy's next. You did catch the string. Yeah, I know. So Discord's doing a thing at the moment where it's decided to just not say when a stream starts or ends. And it's problematic because it keeps saying... I don't know how to describe it. It just... It says it's always on when it's not, and it's confusing for people, I think, and I don't know how to get it to adjust. Apparently this is Hua Shen Yu's Ship of Theseus. Thank you to Joy for sending this through. Really appreciate that. Joy McVeigh. Yeah, let's go. Ship of Theseus. Off of their this is off of their upcoming album. So that's cool. And there are English subs as well, which is cool. The stage is pretty cool, isn't it? Apparently, it's the main concept behind the anime Netflix live action series One Piece, according to Joy. So that's cool as well. Interesting use of harmonies here. I mean, it's phenomenal use of woodwinds as well. It's just a great foil from the vocals. And instant, like, and layering the woodwinds on top. I mean, just the plucked harp. I think part of what made this track work really well was the use of Foley. Like you can hear the shore and the birds and like the storm or like the hull of the ship and stuff like that. But it's a really pretty track. So this was Hua Xinyu with their track Ship of Theseus. What do we think this track's about? I think it's talking about their life as if it was a ship, a vessel. And he compares like the life to other people trying to avoid reefs whilst he's simply trying to repair his ship, etc. If I'm not mistaken, it could be literal, but I think it is more likely to be figurative, and I think that's a smart move. And it's done in a way where I think it matches the sound of the Foley, the sort of the sound created from the very sort of woodwind plucked elements, you know, and with an orchestral backing. It's a cool idea. It's interesting. I could be wrong. Joy has also provided more context. The theme of the song revolves around a thought experiment, also called Ship of Theseus or Theseus' Paradox, which questions whether an object or the same object after having had all its original components replaced over time, typical one after the other. Oh yeah, I get it. So basically you're trying to figure out whether you're the same if you replace everything. That's cool. I think that Hua Xinyu sings this very well. Comfortable in a head and chest voice. The vocal harmonies included are nice, and the backing singers create this wonderful sort of warmth in the sides as well, doing counter melodies or kind of harmonies to what Hua Xinyu is doing in their main leads in the center. So I think that's smart. We have various motifs and melodic ideas that are repeated, and it's just very satisfying when they do that sort of loop. And I think it's just smart songwriting, and it's similar to kind of music like this about like the kind of sea and like the oceans and stuff like that. So it's great. Yeah, no, I think that very very comfortable in that range. The track itself at 4 minutes 50 revolves around a mixture of the different really beautiful harp arpeggios that what they do is they mirror some of the vocal melodies or vice versa. And I think that you have the trade-off between the harp as like a pseudo lead versus, or like an accompaniment versus the vocals as the main. And then you have the woodwind as its own kind of flurry. And I think that the backing vocals are trying to mirror what's going on with the flute. So like backing vocals, flute, and then harp with Hua Xinyu. And there are like some sort of tremolo picked sort of steel string guitar parts there, or like nylons there, which add a sense of like an exotic nature to it, accenting certain notes within the progressions. I mean, like, and again, that chorus section there is wonderful how he rolls up and then the back and goes, oh, like they kind of go up and down, like the waves go up and down, you know? So there's a symbolism there, which I appreciate. Yeah, man. Really good. Really good. Really good. And, what else do I want to say about this? What else do I want to say about it? I think I'm starting to get tired. That's weird. I haven't done a live stream in a while where I've gotten tired. I don't think we've live streamed long enough for that to occur. We've been going for about 2.5 hours now, so I probably will close the queue soon because I don't want the reviews to lack substance. But I think, yeah, just to have that last bit, that last bit with the waves was cool. There's dynamic range to it. There are some interesting sort of modal adjustments to these passages, which are cool. That almost made it sound sort of fantastical. And yeah, nothing but love for it. Have a cup of coffee. I would love to. I would love to get a cup of coffee, but that involves me getting up and making a coffee. And yeah. Yeah. I hang on. I'll be right back. Be right back. BRB. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I have these guys. I have Boss coffees. They're my favorites. They don't sell them in bulk. They sell them in like individuals. So sometimes I can't get them, but I bought a lot of them last time. It's amazing. It's cold. It's ice cold. Like I keep them in the fridge. So they're very good. I loved getting them when I was in Japan a few months ago. They were really good. But yeah, I think thematically it's meant to represent sort of philosophical. It's a very sort of chilled out theme to the song. It's trying to explore some complex ideas, but in a way where I think it's very sort of soothing and pleasant. And yeah, I think just overall really competent musical performance. They're very sort of captivating in its scope. The audiovisual experiences is captivating, and I think that it suits the idea of like that One Piece sort of pirate open ocean vibe as a lot, whilst getting a bit deeper. And yeah, studio recording, mixing, and mastering, the quality of that is top notch. You know, the vocals, the harps, the sort of strings, everything is well captured. No overproduction. Dynamic range. It's got life to it. It's not overcompressed, but nice and loud. But an orchestral niche that I would think works really well, and there was lots of cool ideas in it. So thank you to Joy for putting forward this track from an act named Huaxin Yu titled Ship of Theseus. It's a very long stream. It's just people keep sending through tracks. And it's kind of wild. I was not expecting it to continue for this long, but it has apparently. We have 2 more songs though. Thanks for your request. You guys talking about Squid Game? Yeah, what happened with Squid Game Season 2? Like, I wish that they had just had it all in one. It's such a... Yeah, I wish they'd just done it all at once. Apparently you guys weren't super impressed with it. From what I can tell, I could be wrong. I think that it would have been nice to have known the conclusion to it. But this is from Katana, so let's check it out. Katana and Protector. What have we got? An original track, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So this is called Fireworks. It's a special edition. Let's go. Let's do it. Interesting percussion there. Ooh. Oh man, how that comes in with kick, nice. And it's nice to have a lead continue over top that you've introduced before. And it goes around the stereo field. Guitars. Oh, dubstep. We've gone through a lot of different genres within this, haven't we? That's kind of cool, man. It does remind me of the early 2010s kind of Skrillex kind of stuff, but I feel like comparing your music to another person is also kind of reductive, you know? But it just transitions really well. No, congratulations on the release, because this is, apparently this is Katana and Protector's latest single titled Fireworks, the special version. I adore it. I'm not sure what the track is about, apart from being fireworks. I assume this might have come out on New Year's, or as close to New Year's as, and I think this is a fantastic start for the year. Were there vocals in this? Like, there's like choir vocals at the start, you know? Like, that could also be like an extended vocal chop or something like that, I suppose. But just to have that choir for a sense of like intensity and like, oh, drama, you know what I mean? I think is smart. So as an instrumental piece, it retained my like attention the entire time. I think a lot of it is because this song, like a lot of what I've heard from Katana and Protector in the past, it's an adventure. It's like trying. You made this in 24 hours. Ah, fair. But that's still really good for 24 hours. Like, that's a really good effort to be able to put this together in 24 hours. That would have taken a while, especially because it's not just. So I'm going to try and explain this more of what I understand about the track as well. You not only have these, like if we go to the start, right? You have synth pads and like choirish kind of elements there. And like you see like filtered drums and stuff like that. And some slight oscillations in subzone. And you've got a portamento between the synths as well, which is fantastic. You've got like these kind of filtered sort of like triplet snares and stuff, instantiating a sense of sort of swing groove to it that kind of thumps when the kicks come in. Yeah, and then you've just got all these mid to high elements that are removed when you go into that drop there, and you occasionally have mids to highs, but the focus is on the kick and the bass. The focus is on the kick and bass at that point, you know. And you see this thumping bass line that occasionally goes up to mids and highs, rolling with the triplet groove and accent. But it's also designed to add enough diversity to keep it sort of entrancing throughout. And I like the fact that we kind of have this drop and then we just continue it going so that it almost comes a bit more consistent and so it's kind of like a normal thing. And then we remove it. And then we have the kind of mistiness, the synths going out to the sides with the stereo panning. The automation of it goes out like this, and then boom, you have like the halftime dubstep drop, which when you initially consider the tempo of the track, kind of makes sense. But because of the way we start with the triplet groove, we wouldn't expect it to go dubstep, which is part of why I think this works so well. Again, having the halftime kind of distorted guitars, like the low 7 or 8 strings, is a good thing because it's just, again, it's not a sound we've necessarily heard. Or we might have. I take that back. We might have heard distorted guitars and stuff from Katana Protector before. But like to have the distorted guitars on the low end is a bit of a newer thing in the kind of dubstep stuff. Like the kind of last 5 years or so kind of thing. And I think that having the heavier metal elements, like dubstep and metal coming together, effectively is just like a bit of a no-brainer. You know, like, but it works so well that just the chugginess with the kind of laser sounds is cool. And again, it's just the side chaining, the color in the mix, kind of retaining certain elements of the harmonies and melodies and ideas beforehand, but moving them to a new genre. So it's a track which is incredibly full of really interesting layers and twists and turns and little oscillations and filters and manipulations. And you leave it at the end of the day feeling like you had a real adventure. And it's really, really effective. And I don't think they could have done anything to improve it. Thematically, it's like a celebration of the various genres, the major and minor regardless. It's just the way that you kind of have different rises, kind of upending, then back, slamming down. It obeys fundamentals. It obeys the fundamentals, was trying to put their own spin on it. And I think the Studio Pro's production with the way that the different sort of synth pads based leads, that the drums, anything else involved in this, it just amalgamates and it niches in a way where you can hear everything clearly. Stuff is ever present around a stereo field. The music surrounds you in different positions and stuff moves around. And it's just fun. And, you know, there's rises and like adjustments like that. And there's dynamic range. And it's nice and loud without pumping. Very loud, but it's well captured, side-chained, and it's not too much. Well done to Aroused Pineapple on that. Well done. How loud did you get it? How many lifts did you manage to get this track through? I'd be interested in that. Are we going for like between -5 and 7, or... Because it sounds like it was pushed, but in the best possible way. Really good. I'm glad that Droy and Joe enjoyed it. That's fantastic. That's what we want. So we've actually got another 2 tracks. We've got a track from Droy and Joe after this one from Katana and Protector. But yeah, that was Fireworks from Katana and Protector. That was an awesome song, dude. That's great fun. I enjoyed that. It's just nice to feel like you're in safe hands as a reviewer. Like you can't develop bias. Because that's just going to just be terrible, right? But also, like, you have a sense of trust that things are going to be okay when you get to a certain point. So this is from Joy and Joe. We've got, I recently watched the Netflix David Beckham documentary series. The OSTs are so good. Emmy Best Scoring nominated, but unluckily not awarded. What's your opinion on this? I'll be interested to hear it and to be able to check it out for myself. Let's do it. What have we got? So this is Joy and Joe's pick, Beckham. Let's hear it. I like the fact that I can hear they've been recorded. I can hear that they have been recorded. There's just this isn't a complaint. This isn't a criticism. Okay. It sounds like they've been recorded. You can hear they're not absolutely perfectly quantized. And I adore that. I enjoy the fact that there's a little bit of kind of a sizzle to it. Great use of those orchestral drums there. Great use of those orchestral drums there. My goodness. These auto captions today. These auto captions are being very silly. You're listening to Beckham from the Captain Beck's official soundtrack, Chris. Welcome to the live stream. Hey, now that thank you, Aroused Pineapple. I appreciate that. It's okay if Chris feels that it isn't worth it. I'm sorry, Chris. I can't do it for $6. Bro, I'm about to buy a house, and I made that money from music. So let's not do the dick measuring stuff, yeah? It's just a really, really chill time. Yeah. If you don't think it's worth $6, you can just find someone else. It's chill. But thank you for coming along and have a great day. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That was good. So I really enjoyed my time with this track. It's Beckham from Captain Beck's. So what I think that this track is about, knowing that it's soundtrack off of the Beckham, I don't know if I would necessarily have thought of Beckham when I heard it. Is this specifically like the first time that he gets to be a captain? Is that the kind of angle from this? What is it? So like, yeah, I suppose let's just assume that this soundtrack is from Captain. It's from him becoming a captain. And so, yeah, potentially. I think it's a very intense score. Like if we go to the start, knowing it's an instrumental. So it sounds very dire and minor oriented. And if I was to hear this without context, I would kind of think it would fit into Game of Thrones a little bit. And I don't think that that's an issue. Chris, can you please just go away? It's okay if you make 200K and can't afford $6 for a live stream. It's okay, man. You can go find someone else to listen to your music. It's totally fine. I'm not desperate enough to take $3 for a song request. Oh, you're trolling now? Oh, big man being a troll. Imagine spending a couple of minutes trolling people on the internet because you're bored. Dude, I think you're the only one who's clenching at the moment. Can you please leave? Can you please leave? That'd be really good. I will, because I enjoy my life and I don't spend my time trolling people on the internet. That's great, Chris. You're clearly upset that you didn't get your $3 reaction. You're really upset. Chris, can you please go be the more mature adult and leave? I know that you're trying to get an attention, and it's okay. I mean, I don't know who's paying you $200K, but I think that if that is money well spent on that part, you've clearly got spare time to be doing this. Yeah, I think it's just a kid. Yeah, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to get attention because even though he makes it's okay. You make $200K and you still got spare time to troll people on the internet. It's okay. You clearly need attention. What would you like us to help you with? Would you like us to set up a GoFundMe for your feelings that got hurt? Yeah, man, I'm sure that you have a great life. That's why you're here right now complaining about a $3 reaction versus a $6. I'm glad that wealth is the only thing that matters to you. I mean, he can't even have a normal like font to his name. He's got to go and learn the code to be able to get Chris put into like whatever font that is. And actually, you know what? This is the thing. See, I've got to be careful as a YouTuber because if I react to something, it can seem like it'll get a reaction. So, you know what? Let's just chill. It's cool. Yeah. I'm going to continue talking about this stuff. And Chris, if you want to continue going, you can do it. And I hope you have a great day. And please find better stuff to do with your 200K a year than spend it in a comment section on YouTube. Anyways, I thought that it starts really beautifully, though. I just don't know how to relate it to it. So, Droyan, can you please let me know, like, specifically which part it comes in with? Like, is this, like, related to, like, a match specific in it? Is this, like, episode specific? Just trying to sort of, like, gauge it. Also, you know what? Actually, no. One more thing. Chris, if you are still here, if you've got a bigger channel, why do you need this? If you've got a bigger channel, why do you need to come into this live stream and talk to us? Clearly, you're already getting enough attention to be able to do everything by yourself. So why would you be looking for validation elsewhere if you're so secure? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So basically, I think what the song is trying to communicate through the way it's played is trying to say, oh, okay, It's trying to sort of communicate that, it's trying to communicate that there is a sense of like almost sadness about it. It sounds minor, like there's a bit of danger or drama to him being captained. It's wonderful how things. Why is it doing this? I just got my lights now that are playing up. But just like dynamic range to the performance as well, how things are low like that, and how it kind of flutter and flitter around is nice. And yeah, it sounds like this track, like the string playing there with either the plucked parts or the lead that goes over top and tells the story. That's where it is. So he got the red card of the World Cup, lost to Argentina, and then he was treated so bad by the fans of his country. Awesome. In the sense that, like, I think it's great that we have context for it. It would have been sad to me if we'd had this kind of theme, but there wasn't any sort of drama to the actual thing behind it. But because there was, I can go, okay, that makes sense in regards to this. So that's cool. That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate the back. Yeah, there you go. So I appreciate that. Thank you. So I think to be able to accurately review a track like this, I think it's very important to sort of understand the backing behind the documentary itself. But with that in mind, yeah, and there's like little sort of like woodwind flutters and stuff like that. It's okay. No, honestly, Droyan, it's fine. Honestly, I got a little bit tilted from that guy before, and I am just repositioning myself now, and it's cool. Yeah, I'm just repositioning myself now. There's also a synth sequencer underneath there, which is interesting with the 16th note patterns and stuff like that that it has in it. And just the way that it adds a sense of like tension, underlying sort of like conflict to it through how it bubbles in the background, almost as if these are feelings that are coming up. I think it's very expressive, and almost as things develop through the piece, you get more and more drawn into it, and you understand the gravity of the situation almost when it's too late. I mean, the use of like the trumpets and the brass and the low end and stuff like that being bombastic near the end is effective because it sort of highlights the heights that we've gotten to. You know what I mean? And yeah. Sweet. That's awesome. I think so. Basically, I want to just like take a moment to just kind of collect my thoughts before we move on, because I know that I want to do a good job of this. What's up, Aroused Pineapple? What's happening? You all good? Oh, he's a Minecraft streamer. Hey, honestly, I think it's great that he streams Minecraft. And I think that the guy is allowed to do what he wants. And I just think he was unhappy. Nah, honestly, like, good for him, man. If he wants to sort of, I think that as a professional, if you're in a position where you have to sort of debate the price of something at that level of success, I don't see you as a successful person. I think that you've got to try and respect what someone charges. I don't go into businesses that I respect and ask them to lower their prices for me. I don't think that's a good way of doing business. I've actually run a company for 14 years, and I will move on because I've got other tracks to do. But I just think, yeah, the guy's just, he was unhappy. He didn't get what he wanted, and he started having a bit of a grumble, and he was unhappy about it. But that's what it is. Thank you, Joy and Joe. I appreciate you sending this through. I'm sorry that stuff got sidetracked, but I do still feel like I've said a lot of what I want to say about it. I think the journey that you take with it is solid. Yeah, he's a gaming kid. Yeah, and it's okay. But the thing is, for me personally, if the channel grows, like if this channel grows, and I do the numbers do go up, right? I have to learn to be able to deflect. I have to be able to learn to deflect and not give a shit. And I just think it annoys me when people come in and want me to lower the prices. It annoys me, but I've got to understand that I've just got to understand that that's just people not being able to afford it, and that's just it. They just can't afford it. And that's okay. Because if they could afford it, they wouldn't complain. They'd be like, okay, they'd look at the whatever was offered, they'd either, or they would just not come in. Or they would just not come in, but it's what it is. It's okay. The studio production recording for this is phenomenal. Incredible post-production. Really satisfied with how everything was recorded. It's a really interesting journey to go on. Yeah. It's great. Thank you, Joy and Joe, for this. I appreciate it. Yeah, and also, like, he's entitled to his opinion. I'm going to forget about him tomorrow. And he didn't get his review. That's what it is. He wouldn't be here unless he valued it. He was just grumpy because he didn't get what he wanted. It's whatever. It's all good. Anyways, thank you for that. I think, I don't know. Okay, so basically, the final question, Joy and Joe, I don't know if it should have gotten... I don't know if it should have gotten the win, because I can't compare to the other scores that were there, but I do agree it does sound very Hans Zimmer-ish. I don't know how they could have improved it. I don't know what the competition is, but I do think it's very, very good, and I'm glad that they got nominated. So thank you for sharing it. And yeah, exactly. The channel grows. Exactly. That's the thing. Also, like, a lot of bigger channels, they constantly have people who, even if, like, you know, like, you look at the drama videos that you see online, people will intentionally try to stir the pot in order to get a reaction. And again, I just have to learn to I just have to learn to relax. You know, I just don't see myself going on to someone else's live stream, complaining about the price, and then getting shitty when I don't get what I want. I just don't see myself doing that because I'm an adult. Anyways, thank you. Welcome, Joy and Joe. That's cool. Joy, sorry, the last one for today. We're going to close after this. The last review. This is from Joy. Thank you for your patience, Joy. I really appreciate that. What has Joy got for us today? This is called Quirky Psychology. So this is from Washinyu. Quirky Psychology. Let's go. Let's do it. This is called Quirky Psychology. It addresses his critics who have always called him odd or quirky, basically saying he's not bothered by their attempts, insults, and is comfortable self as he is. I think that, like, to credit to Chris, the fact that he managed to build a YouTube channel off of Minecraft is awesome, because there's a lot of Minecraft channels out there. And I think it's awesome that he was able to find a place on YouTube for it. I do feel like, though, again, it's I would hope that he is a kid, because again, if he's going around the place and just, like, saying stuff like that to adults, it's just you know, but you know what? It's cool. It's chill. It's chill. It's happened. People are going to be dicks sometimes. It's just what happens. So this is Hua Shenyu with Quirky Psychology. This will be... He has 22 guys who sub to his channel. You have 15,000. He has 22 guys who sub to his channel. Nah. So he has 22? Oh, so that's a sad then. That's just a person wanting a reaction. Oh, this is exactly what I was concerned about. Yeah, this is exactly why I need to be more careful, because a little channel will look at, like, a slightly bigger channel. Not a massive one, like mine isn't a massive channel, but slightly bigger. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I appreciate the support. It's nice. It's YouTube drama. Yay! YouTube drama. Awesome. That's a first. That I haven't had that since a guy just put swastikas all through, like, the chat a few years ago. Anyways, Quirky Psychology, last track for today. Thank you for your requests so far. It did wake me up. I have a ferocious temper. An absolutely ferocious temper. And every day is a day of me learning how to not seem like I have a ferocious temper. You just can't have it for YouTube. You just can't have a temper on YouTube. You got to learn to sort of temper that, you know? But thank you.
别害怕我的尖牙利齿和侍卫，我只想当连长，把暗处豺狼下嘴。别评头论足我的相貌和气味，我会哭也会笑，只是不擅长作为。看食肉动物在吃草，世界多和平美好，被误解也好，不需要创造新的怪物。戴上礼帽，可笑，和谁露出马脚趾里的脚？可笑，戳破高手外套，怪我是我。对的，别逼我找出直立行走的同类，斑马它总会有黑白相间的壁垒。别告诉孩子我是危险的魔鬼，天使它总不会拯救所有的人类。当温顺动物被轻巧血刺匆匆被抹掉，被
I like that run there. That vocal run was really good.
好成为真的怪物。戴上礼帽，可笑。
And like how we go into that upper octave for the chorus is just really effective. It just instantly highlights it.
和谁露出马脚趾里的脚？我笑，戳破高尚外套，怪我是我。对的，别深藏。我抹去皮毛烙印和
Great shift though, right?
融入了人世间一角，我舍弃所有强大和骄傲，只为能被人看到真实的样貌。他们都对我致意和微笑，算不算是人可是好？怪物的心里，我终于明了，越渴望越离困扰，却更困扰。
That tension though.
脱掉礼帽，合照，这气氛刚刚好，这里的脚好笑，谁猜无可救药，自然的我，规则，是我鸟。
Okay, so that was Quirky Psychology by Hua Xinyu, which I understand. I think I've actually reviewed this before. It's basically looking at themselves as a person, the way they behave and the way they act, and sort of comparing it to how society perceives them, and trying to sort of, I think, find self-acceptance. Basically, Joy mentions this. It addresses his critics who have always called him odd or quirky, basically saying he's not bothered by their attempted insults and is comfortable with himself as he is. And so I think that's a really great way to that's a great thing to make music about. Identifying who you are, accepting that you might be different, and sort of like working with that to kind of create an idea or like sort of existence for yourself as something that's different. If you try to be like everyone else, especially in the music industry, it can just be too much of the same. You know, it can just be too much of the same. So, like the attitude and the way that he walks across the stage, it's not just the fact that Hua Xinyu can sing very well. Solid vocal technique, the attitude, the expression behind it, the way we go effortlessly between the low and octave ranges. We also harmonize really neatly with the upper and lower parts. That we harmonize in a way that's very clean and satisfying. You know, there's an instant identification of, oh, this is the chorus, this is the verse, etc. And then you have that midsection in the interlude where like it becomes almost balladesque, and it's almost like they're on a pedestal, kind of working through things with the way that the piano fluctuates and all these other elements there. It's very different to the rest of it, for it to kind of build back up again and to go back to the main sort of hook line and sort of message there. So I think that we sing really well, we express ourselves really neatly. And it's just like the movement with like the overdriven or distorted guitars there, how they work within the mix, is really neat as well. Like they're typically palm muted arpeggios, you know, like working between the notes of the chord there. I think that's really great. And what's particularly satisfying about it is when there's a little opens or like there's little kind of unison chords there, the way they bend there upwards. And it's neat because it adds a bit of tension or a bit of a call and response in between, which is really cool. But like the instrumental backing stays relatively consistent throughout a lot of it, going between the chorus and the verse parts. It's more sort of the changes with the vocals that kind of carry it. Like there's like slight little like melodic maybe keys in the background there that go between and kind of mirror what's going on with the guitar parts. But outside of that, it's very similar. And we change our vocal style as well in this part to be sort of like dramatic or operatic, and it suits the string, the orchestral focus there with the keys and the way they articulate different arpeggios and stuff like that throughout the bit, going up and down, cascading. And it's beautiful the way the bass comes in at that point there. And just that final harmony there with the almost barbershop quartet-ish kind of thing going on with the swinging around the sides of the stereo field. And then we go back into the hook. It's just really well structured. So I think as a final comment on this song, what's done well here is that we've created an adventure, a journey that's relatively predictable at first. Then we have that turn where we kind of learn something new. And then we come out of that maybe going back to our original intent. The theme with the rocky intonations from the guitar and stuff like that is kind of like, hey, it's intense. It's kind of sort of like, but not too much. It's trying to remain accessible while still kind of communicating some of like the edginess of some of like the vocals and the other parts of the story through the music. It does the duality between orchestra and rocky parts well. Studio recording, mixing, and mastering is well-handled as well. You can hear the guitar, vocals, keys, strings, bass, drums in the mix. There is tempo parts there where, so like the drums, for example, it works with offbeats and is sort of consistent with like the hi-hat parts, but it also moves into crashes, kicks, and snares at certain points and allows space with occasional kicks in that part there to kind of highlight certain parts of that interlude moment. But yeah, no, honestly, it's a really solid track, and works well live as well. Tight performance, you filtering, panning, EQing, etc. Vocals, everything you can hear in the mix, and it's nice and loud without pumping, so the bus compression and limiting is handled. What a live stream today! It is a top quality live recording as well. Yeah, no, it's really well handled. I'm really impressed with the way that they record these, and yeah. Look, guys, I know that last little bit was a bit rough, but we got through it. It's been a 3-hour live stream today, and that's a long live stream. Thank you to all of you who have stuck around and been part of the small group of people who check it out, which I nonetheless appreciate quite a lot. We have heard tracks from, if I go back, actually, who have we heard tracks from? Chu, Shin Yi Da, Dinahe, Rose, Jacob, Lil Novik, Joy McVeigh, Katana Protector, Joy and Joe, and Joy McVeigh again. Thank you to all of you who have put tracks through. Really appreciate being able to listen to those today. I am going to go and have a nap. Hopefully you'll have a fantastic day. I will be back in a couple of days' time for another one of these on Saturday afternoon. Feel free to come along to that if you want to or not. That's totally fine. Either way, stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time as they need the help. More than ever. Oh, there we go. Cool. Stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on. Thank you to Joy for the last request as well for Quirky Psychology. We've also got a Hua Xin Yu live stream on Sunday afternoon. We've got a Hua Xin Yu live stream on Sunday afternoon for an album as well, which will be good. Have a fantastic day. Spiderhands out. 3, 2,